Welcome, friends. Thank you for joining us. My name is Joel.
And this is the O2 Drop.
This is WA's VGC podcast, coming from Perth, home of Australia's most regional championships. Today, I am joined by my friends, the ever-radiant Ethan.
I am here.
Amazing. The host of this evening, Mark.
Wait, I'm hosting?
Us.
Oh, yeah, we're in my house, right?
Yeah. And of course, everybody's favourite gunkle, Chris.
Look, all I'm saying is if they wanted someone reliable to do the Trump assassination job, they should have asked Alec Baldwin.
I don't get it.
God, can't get it again.
Because he...
Mark gave me
no
chocolate
cuts,
and it's
no
stuck in my
cuts.
throat.
he shoots people, Joel,
Alec Baldwin killed someone.
with
Oh,
a
did he?
gun.
With a gun. Guns don't kill people.
I thought you were...
Alec Baldwin.
I thought you were going to make a Pokemon joke, like if they really wanted Trump dead, they should have got someone with no guard.
Oh, true. But look, we only record this every 2 weeks. And
Once every week now.
Well, okay, weekly now as of tonight. But there's no time for in jokes, so I have to hold on to them.
Pretty stale news at this point, Chris.
It
Fine.
was stale half an hour after the news dropped, let's be fair.
All right, fine. Then I'll Kamala for president, the little koala Pokemon.
Yeah, we love Kamala. Kamala and her log.
I don't think it's in the pool. Is that currently in Generation 9, Kamala?
Yes.
Yes, it
'cause I
is.
have a shiny one.
It's in the jar.
It might win.
It might win.
It might win.
Over my dead fucking body, but...
Okay, well, gentlemen, what have we been laddering with this week? Ethan.
Well, I've been playing quite a bit of King Gambit, actually. I realized that Feint plus Assurance is a very, very nasty combination for just murdering shit. And I don't know, it's one of those high skill cap mons where you can just click SD and Terror Dark and kill resist, but only if you are not afraid of clicking SD in front of an Urshifu, for instance. And I find that it rewards some extremely dumb fucking play sometimes, and I'm here for that.
We love that. Mark, what have you been laddering with this week?
I haven't touched ladder in about 2 weeks. So what I've got is the same nonsense I have been cooking for a while.
No, I'd call that a win, all things considered.
I've been out, interacting with human beings and touching grass.
That's
It's pretty sad. I got to get back to the laddering soon. But I mean, my team that I'm running at the moment is, it's just meta trash, Regieleki, Tinkerton, Sarena, all the meta stuff.
That mold breaker fake out.
Oh,
It's spicy. I'm kind of sad we shouted it out on the podcast now because it means the next local I play, the person I'm up against, is actually going to remember it.
I was running this.
They might remember that it has mold breaker, but they might not remember to, that their Farigiraf isn't actually going to stop anything.
No, I think this will remind them. The team sheets that we have to use tell them that it's got mold breaker.
Fair enough. Chris, what have you been laddering with this week?
Well, look, I also have not been laddering. If you want to cue that wow music.
Hang on, Ethan said this is a win.
I have also been going outside and touching grass, but only because I've been doing a lot of Pokemon Go.
Does this mean that your new relationship is getting serious, Chris?
It does, and I've joined a cult, and I'm really worried. I've been walking on average 5 kilometers a day. I did 47 kilometers with my buddy Pokemon last week.
Oh my God.
Ethan is laughing, but Pokemon Go is truly a cult.
No, it's. I'm really, really upset about
So
it.
does
My
your
life
new
is-
partner play Pokemon Go?
Yeah.
Break up with them immediately.
I know. Anyway, look, I said I wanted a Pokemon husband. I probably should have specified what type of Pokemon. I brought this upon myself. So
At least he's not a Pokemon Unite husband.
that's true. So did you? I was watching the Netflix show where the Pokemon Unite World Champion sold both of his World Championship trophies to that golden auctions to pay for his mum's mortgage or medical bills or something cute like that. But I was like,
That is really cute.
but
Yeah.
He's like, oh, don't worry, I'll just win more. And I was like, yeah, fair enough. It's Pokemon.
You just got to be there.
Yeah, in my Showdown team builder, I still have my Min Speed Lunala Trick Room team, which apparently is starting a cult because Jared Clappin, friend of the show and previous guest, is also on board with that. Apparently, he's on a self-proclaimed mission from God to make Trick Room Lunala work. But I also, in my heart, I also really want to give a run with Specs Eternatus, Terra Poison, Sludge Wave with Fake Out Tinkaton next to it.
All right.
It's immune to the Sludge Wave. I don't know how much damage it does, but theoretically it should hurt.
You could run that Goldango with the Mold Breaker Helping Hand.
I could. I haven't built it. I haven't tested it.
Yes, that's right. That's the only way to make it happen, isn't it?
That was like Series A strats.
Yeah,
Mold Breaker,
It's
helping
not
hand.
good.
It's not bad. Goldango's good.
I know we're a Pokemon VGC podcast, but right now, I don't know if it's a Reg G or just maybe I'm just exhausted after not making Worlds this year, but Reg G or the current format does not get me hard. It doesn't, I don't get aroused by it. I'm aroused for Worlds because I've got like sentimental attachment to some of the players.
That is fair because I did give up on my goal to make Master Ball with Regieleki Ice-Q doing the explosion.
Oh, you didn't make it?
I didn't make it, no. I ended up being like 9-16 or something with that team, got all the way back down to the bottom of Ultra League.
That's heartbreaking.
So I sold my soul to the Japanese team and I've just been like exploding with Miraidon whims. So
that Ice-Q explosion thing, was that like a Joel original or was that from someone? Because I've seen YouTube videos about that. You stole that.
Yeah, I think it was Andy Lar VGC.
You James baked it.
I did James bake it, but
No, he didn't because he's currently giving credit on air.
Fuck James Beck.
It's a weird
Fuck
thing
James
to do.
Beck.
We haven't said it in a while, but fuck that guy.
Yeah, I'm back on the fuck James Beck bandwagon.
James, if you're listening, fuck you. Also, credit Ethan, please.
Come on the show.
So on to the most recent big tournament, which is the Road to Honolulu 2.
Yeah.
So first of all, shout out to the Melbourne Regional Champion, friend of the show, Kieran Singh.
Kieran Singh, Melbourne Regional Champion.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Wow.
Best friend.
I heard he won
Teammate.
Melbourne.
He did win Melbourne.
That makes him the Melbourne Regional Champion.
It does.
Kieran Singh.
I heard he's a friend of the show.
He is a friend of the show.
I heard he was on the show.
You were here.
I know. That's why I heard, because I was sitting next to him.
So Kieran was the lone Aussie in day 2 of the Road to Honolulu 2. So shout out to that. That's a massive effort.
Do we know how many Australians entered and were in day 1?
No.
Do these people not sleep? What time was this on?
Obviously, I don't think Kieran slept on Saturday night because it was like it ran on Saturday.
If it was on Honolulu time, it would have started around 3 a.m.
It was it's American time because it's Victory Road.
So yeah, it would have started around somewhere between midnight and 3 a.m.
Yep. So yeah, shout out to Kieran for massive effort staying up all night. It's kind of wild, really. But one of the biggest things to come out of Road to Honolulu 2 was the results from the top 8.
Yes.
And these results have some people very, very worried. The results were that there was only 2 restricteds in top 8, that being the Spooky Horse and Miraidon.
Yeah.
What's our take on that, gentlemen?
Well, and even to add to that, there was no Cali Ice in top 16.
No, there were 2 Koraidon, 1 Terapagos, and what was the other one?
One Zamazenta.
The Zamazenta, yeah. And none of them cracked top 16. None of them cracked into top 8.
Well, basically, my reaction, half of Twitter are panicking, thinking, oh my God, Ice Horse is a fraud and all that. And the other half are like, guys, you can't judge the meta based on one tournament's events. Like, relax, calm down. Your team for Worlds is going to be fine. But it is causing some hysteria.
Yes, a lot of hysteria.
Yeah, I mean, I think the meta's been sort of trending in this direction for quite a while. People are realizing that if you want to win games, you can't really look past the big stat sticks next to speed control and just remove all counterplay and kill shit. It just seems like the best way to play the game at the moment, unfortunately. So Miraidon is it, Cali S is it. To a lesser extent, Cali Ice, I guess, and like but everything else is just kind of fringe picks at the moment, which is a whack thing to say about things like Koraidon and Terapagos, which are great mons in their own right. It's just the power level is so skewed at the moment.
I don't think we should rule anything out at this stage. I think, the second half of Twitter is absolutely correct. You can't judge a format based on one tournament.
Watch us.
I mean, it does have to be said, I think, that when a meta is this centralized, there is usually quite a lot of scope for totally whack, hyper-specific strats into things like, I don't know, Clefairy Kalias or Blood Moon and Miraidon or any of those sorts of things, just to like really shut down those specific mons. Like, I'd expect to see a lot of Terra Fairy Lightning Rodders or
But I
stuff
always
like King Gambit.
I always think it's bait. I mean, to a certain extent, you can like tech on a move here or there, but I think some people often go too hard trying to counter a very specific team, and then they rock up to an event and they kick the shit out of that very specific team 2 times, and then they lose the next 6 games because they're up against entirely different teams and the team doesn't work into it.
Literally happened to me in 2022 when everyone told me that everyone was bringing Reshi Rex and Palki Rex. So I built to counter that, and then everyone just brought Rinya's Sun and destroyed me.
And that's the thing, I think, is your team needs to be built for generic answers. You need to be able to answer standard, not a specific Pokemon, but you need to be able to answer specific play styles and have your team covered so that you have an answer no matter what matchup you end.
Of course.
Yeah, this is why the Fire Water Grass has been so good for so long, because it covers everything.
Exactly. Yeah. Having things like that just kind of, instead of being, how does my team beat Calyrex Shadow, it's how does my team beat Speed Control Hyper Offense. Instead of how do I beat Terapagos, it's how do I beat Bulky Stall.
Sorry, you go.
I think that's a good point, but at the same time, like, I have faith in the team building skills of the average world competitor. I'd like to believe that I know, but I'd like to believe that there is a way that you could specifically victimize like the common Kali Shadow strats and the common Miraidon strats while also maintaining a broad sort of level of play into the whole meta. Like, it's narrower, but like not entirely narrow.
I mean, at risk of sounding like a hypocrite based on what I just said, I do have little techs on my current team that answer very specific.
Absolutely.
Like the Calyrex Shadow and Clefairy strat. I have Electroweb Regieleki, and then I was specifically I had changed my Kyogre from Modest to Timid so that after an Electroweb it outspeeds a Calyrex Shadow.
Yeah.
My Regieleki is Terra Ghost. I added Terra Blast so that it has the potential to outspeed and one-hit KO a Calyrex Shadow. Tinkerton is Mold Breaker Fake Out. That very much exists as an answer to things like Armor Tail and Queenly Majesty.
Yeah.
It's got Feint. That's very much an answer to Wide Guard. But that I haven't built, I guess I haven't really added something to a team as hate for a certain strat, which has weakened the team in general.
We should probably point out that you are one of the Australia's leading CP holders at the moment, Mark.
Yeah, potentially at the time of recording the highest CP holder. Thank you. Purely because we're the only ones who have had as many events as we have, and I've come in top 4 at a few of them.
Shout out to our TOs for absolutely getting it done.
They're smashing it.
This early in the 2025 season.
Shout out to my tied top points holder, Brett Jason Slivka, who is
enemy of the show.
enemy of the show. Because he has decided that he has a life outside of Pokemon and he won't be available for the next few episodes. So fuck James Beck and fuck Brett Jason Slivka.
Speaking of James Beck, another example.
Wait, hold on. I need to apologize for Sliff. Sorry, Sliff. I don't mean that. We love you.
We do love Sliff. But yeah, we were just talking about like team building for specific centralized metas and things. I think a great example of that is the team that James Beck stole from me.
I was wondering if that's where you were going.
Yeah, and so that team was in the 2022 meta, the last meta of Sword and Shield. I was running a Gravity Sigilif team with Choice Banded Groudon.
Yeah.
And the idea behind that team was that Gravity Precipice Blades was extremely good into Rinya's Sun, the prevalent team comp at the time. It was good into other things for sure. Like,
really good into flying Pokemon.
Yeah, I had I had an entire flowchart based around my Palkia and my Incineroar for dealing with the Palkia Calyrex Ice Trick Room archetype that was really good at the time. And so I had that matchup like fully down going into the tournament. That's why I did so well. But the idea behind it was that I was very, very specifically trying to victimize Rinya's son by like grounding the Charizard and just murdering it with Precipice Blades, putting things to sleep with Hypnosis once gravity was up. Sigilyph having Magic Guard meant that Wildfire couldn't kill it through Sash. There was just a lot of text like that kind of holding it together, and it's probably my crowning team building achievement for my career. And I think that style of team building is the sort of team building that works well in a centralized meta like this one.
Yeah, but I think you're only, just a little bit of bad luck away from having a bad day because you just don't end up against any of those teams.
I think in the case of Kali Shadow and Miraidon, that's not very likely.
I mean, back in 2022, Ethan did make someone quit Pokemon on their first event.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, I would love to see... That's very true. But I would love to see the comparison of the top 8 teams compared to all the teams entered. Because, we're looking at being like, oh, it's all just Calyrex, Shadow, and Miraidon. No, the winning teams were all Calyrex, Shadow, and Miraidon. And if you make it to the final match and you're up against someone with one of those two teams and your team is built specifically to counter that, great, you've got a great shot at winning.
Yeah.
But to make it to that final game, you have to beat all the shitters who are out here running like fucking Cure and White, right?
I do have some usage.
Joel's is about to stat us.
Yeah, I'm going to
stat us, Daddy.
Going to stat you boys. So the day 1 usage, we got Ice Horse at 50.
Fraud.
There we go.
Spooky Horse at 62. Miraidon 32. Kyogre 25. And Terapagos 18. So Terapagos was the lowest percentage of those 5 at 8%. And then in day 2, Calyrex Spook went from 27% to 33%. Ice Horse went from 22% to 21%. Miraidon went from 14 to 21.
Whoa.
Kyogre went from 11 to 6. And Terapagos went from 8% to 4% of day 2 teams.
Yeah. So, and I think that's the thing looking at that is like if you go in expecting nothing but Calyrex, Shadow, and Miraidon, you're going to see more teams without those two than you are with them. Yeah, I think you're going to play more teams that don't have those Pokemon than that do. And if your team is has unfavorable matchups into teams that are not the ones you specifically counted, you're going to have a bad day. And I think it's not common that we ever see a winning team of a big competition be a team that is built to counter the general meta. Sometimes they have aspects to counter specific things. Like sometimes, we see these really cool texts. It's like, oh, it's that Pokemon with that specific move. That must be to counter this very prevalent thing. But I think, tech single moves, maybe, I wouldn't even say change abilities, and maybe items. Single moves and maybe items. Outside of that, though, I think if you have too specific a build, you're weakening your team just because of the opportunity cost of what you could be running instead.
I think this format is very centralized. Like there's no hiding away from that. At this specific tournament, we had 65% of the day 1 teams being 3 archetypes.
Yeah.
So, and that is probably how Worlds is going to go. It's probably going to be those 3 prevalent because the entire community has identified them as being the most broken ones to play. They are the eat glue teams.
I really hope those people are hiding their secret sauce and they're going to bring other shit.
I'm so hyping there's like hidden secret sauce.
Yeah.
Because a really good team builder who finds maybe a way to counter that 65% is going to get through. And
only if they have the matchups into those Pokemon, though. But like
statistically,
it's not
as it is. But Worlds is the best of the best. There's going to be some very interesting takes on different compositions, and I think statistically we will see the same numbers play out.
Yeah,
like I said, I have faith in the average Worlds competitor to be able to build their teams well. I think I've spoken in the past in previous podcast episodes about the sort of dichotomy between proactive and reactive team building, which is a bit of what you were speaking on.
Yeah.
And I think that the answer, at least in a meta like this, would be somewhere in the middle. Like find a team that has a good standard game plan that you can use to sweep through 90% of shitter teams with niche picks, but then have like specific stuff that you can use to really victimize Kali Shadow and Miraidon.
Speaking of, so could we just mention the winner of Victory Road, the road to Honolulu to Electric Boogaloo,
If we have to.
was Taro Okada from Japan. Mm-hmm. And I do notice that his team is actually very geared towards beating Miraidon because you've got Indeedee female, obviously, and Rillaboom in the same team. You are literally never going to lose that terrain war. And he didn't play in the final. He played another Calyrex Shadow team, but
Yeah.
So the team was Calyrex Shadow Rider, Indeedee, Rillaboom, Incineroar, Fire Ogerpon, which is interesting. I haven't seen that in a while.
that's
And an Urshifu, I'm assuming it's the water one because there's no water Pokemon on the team. It could be the dark one for the.
A lot of these Japanese teams are running Dark Urshifu for the Calyrex Ice Hate. It's a helping hand, Terra Dark, Wicked Blow, basically obliterates
Yeah.
Calyrex. It cannot invest to defend that.
A helping hand always makes me Wicked Blow.
Thank you. Also, usually if it doesn't indicate which Urshifu it is, technically the dark one is the base Urshifu, so that's what it would be.
Yeah. And same with Hearth Flame Ogerpon. Very common in Japanese builds. Hearth Flame at the moment. That's
Yeah.
their preference.
That wolf team from ages ago where he
Yes.
had the fire Ogerpon with Grassy Glide next to Rillaboom, considering it had both of those Pokemon on the team, I imagine that's what that was because I don't think that archetype ever really died down in Japan.
They're quite defensively invested in Japan. They're Hearth Flames, yeah.
Well,
So
I mean,
they're
it
not
makes
speedy. They're like max HP, maybe like 140 attack, and Hornleech is quite common.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. You know, you can afford to invest in bulk when you can terrestrialize and give yourself a +1 to your attack
absolutely.
stat.
Plus the Terra Boost, yeah.
Yeah, plus the Terra Boost for specifically your Ivy Cudgel. It was the same thing back last gen with Zacian, with people running really bulky Zacian sets because they could afford to just not invest that much in attack and speed because it was insanely fast and it got the attack boost on switching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Joseph Ugardi from America. Big fan of his. He did a Miraidon team, but he had King Gambit and Volcarona and Grimmsnarl and Iron Hands.
Yeah, I saw that
It
too.
was it was a spicy team.
Joe UX loves King Gambit.
Top
Yeah.
4.
I really like his team building. I think
Clever.
he's someone who I watch and I can always tell he's not really influenced by the meta. He doesn't be like, okay, this is a good Pokemon, so I'm going to run this. This is not a good Pokemon. You can really tell that he looks at his team, he figures out what he wants to do with it, and he finds the best Pokemon for the job. And in this case, it was Grimmsnarl and Volcarona.
Yeah.
Last Worlds, it was Wochien.
And I saw Robbie Charge made it into the top 16 of Road to Honolulu to Electric Boogaloo after making it into top 16 of Road to Honolulu 1.
Yeah.
So I think that's one
Koraidon Venusaur.
Yeah, one of the Koraidon teams.
only names to appear twice in 2 consecutive top cuts. So
That's
And
interesting.
he's running Porygon 2 as well. Haven't seen that in a while.
Did he age up into Masters this year?
yes,
Yes. So we maybe see more of that name.
absolutely. But yeah, I think this Road to Honolulu 2 it's indicative, but I don't think it is the be all and end all. I don't think it's panic stations for the meta because it's just reflective of the meta anyway.
Yeah, don't panic. If you're going to Worlds, keep laddering, do a bunch of practice. If you find that majority of the time your team isn't working into what's out there, maybe it could be worth switching it up, but don't let one tournament decide how you feel about your team.
Especially 3 weeks out.
Yeah. This is not a good time to be making drastic adjustments.
Yep. So let's move on to the 222 from hell.
Elaborate.
Elaborate. Chris absolutely loves this team, but we have a disgusting team that comprises of Calyrex Shadow, Mousehold, Tatsugiri, Dondozu, Regigigas, and Weezing. Specifically, this one's Galarian form.
I think I've seen this team on ladder actually.
The 222 from hell.
Dear God.
That's so presumably the 222, for those who are not aware, means you have 3 different leads of 2 Pokemon. So you've got 2 Pokemon in Dondozo Tatsugiri, you've got 2 Pokemon in Regigigas Weezing, and did you say Mouseape was the last one?
Mousehold and Calyrex.
Mousehold and which Calyrex?
Sorry, Calyrex S, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so the idea of 2-2-2 is the team is very specifically built around you're going to lead one of those 3 sets of 2 Pokemon. Like
And
leading
it very rarely has any surprises because if you lead not the 2, they can kind of interpret your back 2 based on what you bring.
Yeah, it's a very team preview heavy way of playing, but
each 2 Pokemon core is pretty much designed to check anything the other cores lose to. It's actually quite efficient. Like, you know, like Dondozo loses to like Hard Trick Room and stuff like, and like, you know, Amoonguss and stuff like that. Yeah. And then, you know, you've got Mousehole with Follow Me, Friend Guard, Faint.
And Taunt, usually,
Yeah,
I think.
so they can't wide guard the Astral Barrage, and it makes Calyrex Shadow bulkier. And you got, I don't know. I love a good 2-2 on Dozo team. I'm glad that people are getting a bit more creative. Back in the day, it was just like Chi-Yu Photomane, Chen Pao Dragonite. It was just boring. But
Yeah.
I like a spicy 2-2-2.
There has been a lot of wheezing popping up on ladder as well. Lots and lots and lots of wheezing.
a lot of ability reliance, and it's good to shut that down, I think.
I forget, does Weezing turn off ability? Like, despite speed, does Weezing's abilities still go before other abilities?
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
blanket thing.
Yeah. So if you turn 1, you switch in Kyogre and the other person switches in Weezing, even though your Kyogre's faster, Weezing's still going to turn off the rain before the rain starts?
So the rain doesn't get turned off, so to speak. The rain still activates, but it's not present on the field. So if you bring in Kyogre
Yeah.
and it activates Drizzle,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
I
it
think-
doesn't
sure
activate,
you're not thinking of-
Wheezing turns it off, and then if Wheezing dies 3 turns later, there's only going to be 2
Are
turns
you
of rain.
sure you're not thinking of Rayquaza?
I'm fairly confident.
I think that depends on switch order, like most abilities. If 2 things switch in, if the Pokemon that's switching out for Kyogre is faster than the Pokemon switching out for
talking
Weezing.
turn 0.
Oh, right.
So at the start of the game, I lead Kyogre, you lead Weezing. Is rain going to go up?
I think in that case, neutralizing gas blocks everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
I
there
got
is
to
a chance
double
that-
check though, Joel. I think you're wrong about the weather. I think you're
What was
thinking
the
about.
question, sorry?
It could be the showdown coding that I'm thinking of, but I've
Potentially.
never played a cartridge game that's gone long enough to see that effect play out.
The question is,
I was looking at shirtless guys on Twitter. I'm sorry.
Chris, you're almost married now to Pokemon Go, man.
But this guy's really hot. The one on Twitter. Both are. God, I hope he doesn't hear this.
Okay. Yeah, let's hope.
I thought you were the one that liked this 2-2-2 team.
I do. I didn't hear the question.
The question is if Kyogre and Weezing both start the game on the field. So I send out Kyogre.
No,
and
the
you send out-
gas overrides everything. It
Yeah,
regardless of
it's not
speed.
based on speed.
Yes,
gas,
yeah.
Gas always
And
overrides.
Joel thinks the rain still activates, but the effect
timers
of the
start.
rain is not
No,
present.
the abilities never have a chance to activate.
Yeah. I
So
think
the
Chris
timers
is
don't
right.
start or anything.
No.
I don't know about the bloody timer. I'm
that's-
just saying that
No, there's timer on the
there's
effect. So like
no
rain for 5 turns.
notification of like drizzle activating.
No. I'm 99% sure that Chris is right and you're thinking of Rayquaza.
No. So we'll have to test it on cart.
It says like neutralizing gas. Like there's like a notification saying that like gas is in play, and then like nothing else says anything after that.
Yeah.
Let's test it on cart on a game that's going to go for long, because showdown coding is not exactly what the in-game is. But
Not
in
always 100% accurate.
in
yeah.
showdown, the timers for the abilities start
Okay.
with neutralizing gas present. So if
crazy.
you have, say, Miraidon and Kyogre on the field with a neutralizing gas,
Yep.
the 5 turns of terrain and rain start. They're not present on the field, but the timers start.
That's interesting.
That would be so absurd if that's true.
So
Because it would imply that the terrain or the weather itself is the ability, as opposed to the setting of the terrain of the ability. And I know that typically the terrain is not considered to be the ability because fucking Moldbreaker doesn't ignore psychic terrain.
That doesn't ring true to me, to be honest, because that would imply that if Weezing stayed on the field for 4 turns or whatever, gets knocked out or switches out.
1 turn of rain.
Exactly. That
Well,
Doesn't
let's test it on cart because, and then we can, harass.
We actually don't need a long game to go for because I have, thanks to Sebi Widdiston, friend of the show, she has brought Rayquaza to multiple events, and I do know that the rain animation continues while Rayquaza is blocking the effects of the rain.
Yeah.
So if the rain animation starts or continues with wheezing and the rain isn't considered to be active, then we'd know immediately.
Yeah.
Can we just? Why do we do the work? Why don't we get our viewers, our listeners, if you know the answer to this question, please comment, slide into our DMs, slide into anything you want. Really, I'm still technically single.
Yeah, I think it's different in the sense that because airlock blocks the weather, whereas neutralizing gas blocks the ability that sets the weather, so it never gets set up in the first place.
We'll test it because then we can harass the Wobbuffet to fix Showdown.
True.
Again.
All right, moving on
Anyhow,
because I'm sure our viewers are bored as fuck.
Another interesting aspect of this team that I think is really cool, and I'll frame this as a question for the panel actually. Do we reckon that Mousehold is better as a partner for Calyrex Shadow than Clefairy is?
Better? No. Better in some situations? Yes.
Well, yeah, sure. You're trading off.
It's not as bulky.
Yeah, you're trading off like After You and whatever the fuck else
Sing.
Clefairy does. Yeah, Dry Sing.
Sing.
Yeah, fuck that.
You say
For
Dry
Feint, I
Sing?
guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raw dog that sing.
Naked sing.
Raw dogging sing. It's a bit of a cop-out answer, but it is situational, right?
Yeah.
Like Mousehold is doing more offensively while providing the same effect, but I'm pretty sure Clefairy is going to live more from its typing alone. It's going to have more resistances.
Mousehold is more disruptive as well.
Fast taunt, fast encore.
Fast taunt, fast
I think-
encore. You can sash it, and that's kind of the same thing as if you
Both
like.
get helping hand, I'm assuming.
And like strictly speaking, Calyrex only really needs one turn, maybe two, to get a nasty plot.
Yeah.
And then like if Mousehold is lucky enough to live to turn 2, then you can do like Feint wide guard shit.
Yeah. Sorry, Mousehold gets Feint, Clefairy does not.
The feint is pretty big for the wide guards.
Huge.
Do they both get taunt?
A Clefairy does not, I don't think.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's another feather in Mousehold's cap.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to be said for Clefairy's survivability.
Yes.
For sure. Okay, so let us move on for other Twitter stuff that we've had. Originally shared by Nintendo and shared by PokeFacts, we have the most disproportionately popular Pokemon in every country. And first of all, we have some dishonorable mentions.
Wait, hold on.
Explain what it means by disproportionately popular.
You can read a little bit.
Well, basically it means like, so every country obviously Google searches Pokemon. There's like an average amount of searches per Pokemon per country. If one country has like an exorbitant increased amount of Google searches for a specific Pokemon compared to the world average, it's considered that country's most preferred or favorite popular Pokemon.
Yeah.
So some countries Google search some Pokemon way more than others do.
Such as these 3 countries that need to be cancelled immediately. Uruguay, Argentina, and Bulgaria, and Colombia. Cancelled.
Okay, what's wrong with those countries?
Well, their most disproportionately popular Pokemon is Vaporeon.
They've been Googling Vaporeon a lot in those countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, cancelled.
Cancelled immediately.
For
The Fleshlight Pokemon.
for any of our listeners who don't know why we're so concerned, you are blessed. Keep it that way.
Google that shit.
In terms of human and Pokemon Google searching, I think that these certain countries are specifically suited to Vaporeon fandom.
Hey, did you guys know that Vaporeon gets acid armor?
Thanks for that, Mark.
And you can turn it white.
That's right. It turns the color of the fluid it swallows, such as and changes all colors.
And then it has hydration, so you can just keep... Wait, never mind.
Moving on.
Moving right on. So, unfortunately, for some reason, Australia's most disproportionately popular Pokemon is Mr. Rhyme.
Based as fuck. That's so cool. That's awesome. Fuck you, Joel. You and your soundboard can go die.
It's some creepy, it's like a paralysis sleep demon type Pokemon. I hate it.
He's cool as hell. Leave him the fuck alone.
And it also means that we're the same Pokemon as the Dutch. Oh, okay. Joel likes that one.
It just means we have too many stoners in Australia.
I was going to say, what does it say that our favorite Pokemon is the same as the weed country? Like, we're clearly sharing opinions with people who are stoned out
Mr.
of their
Rhyme, man.
minds.
Whoa.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, and I don't know what this says about the United States of America, but their favorite is Mime Jr. Scary any country that goes for a junior.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that.
Look, I'm not going to make anything of that, to be honest. But I don't know.
You make your own inferences there.
I just find that this whole thing as a data set is so funny because you look at all of these countries in the global south and whatever, and it's all Pikachu because they're like, what is Pokemon? What is a Pikachu?
29 countries in the world had Pikachu as the most disproportionate.
Yeah,
population.
and then you look at all of the Western countries in the global north, and they already know what Pokemon is, so they're searching up the most obscure shit, just like what the fuck is this Pokemon?
There are
When
some
did this
truly based things here, such as Portugal's number one most disproportionately popular is Spectria.
That's pretty cool.
That's
That is
based
cool.
as fuck.
Yeah, there's five.
Unless they're a bunch of filthy Calyrex Shadow users and they've got Calyrex and they're Googling, how do I get Spectria?
That's probably what it is.
I chose Glastria. Which one do I change to?
There's a lot of Chi-Yu love. New Zealand, Canada.
5 or 6 countries.
Singapore. They love Specs Chi-Yu.
Makes me proud to be a New Zealander.
Chile loves Furfru.
Yeah,
It's
Chile
cute.
loves their dogs. Dominican Republic loves Vigoroth. That's a shout out.
Okay.
I too love a chili dog.
Chili dog.
Nice. That was quite good.
Yeah.
We
Thanks.
got Japan loving Drizzle as their most disproportionately popular, which I think is on brand for Japan
Okay.
currently.
That's a great example of an obscure Pokemon where they look it up and it's like, what the fuck is this?
yeah, being a middle evolution.
Yeah.
Is it like a Smash character?
Nope.
Okay.
Taiwan
That's a
Beedrill.
question that only you can answer.
Egypt
For yourself.
Weedle. I don't know what that's about. Is that some sort of new sun cult?
I think Chris, your new favorite place is going to be Cambodia.
What is it?
Umbreon.
Oh, yeah, totally. I'm moving to Cambodia.
Um,
I like the food.
Great place, actually.
Brazil's Pidgeotto. That's pretty based.
Also, I think the Emirates had Abra. And I genuinely just think there's been a lot of typos of them trying to type out Arab as in the United Arab Emirates.
Oh my
God.
It's
That
so
is-
true.
The United Abra Emirates.
Oh, that's incredible.
Japan Drizzle is pretty cool.
Yep. Thanks for repeating what I said.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening to you as usual.
Chris is too engrossed in the map. He's trying to find interesting
No, I'm
things.
not looking at Shirtless Man on Twitter again. I'm actually looking at, I think,
Egypt with Weedle is kind of a shout out as well.
I said that already, so you weren't
okay.
listening to me.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka, I think Sri Lanka have started Pokemon as a religion because they've got Arceus. And
I
they're
think-
most popular.
Sri Lanka already has enough issues with religion. Let's not drag the culture Pokemon into it.
I think a Thailand loving Deerling is pretty cute.
What season? Define.
They're just showing spring.
The worst one. Also, Indonesia. Seriously, Minun, get better. Indonesia.
They're just looking for their Plusle.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I guess Peru's looking for their Chicaritas.
Oh, that is probably a misinterpreted. as well. That probably is a misinterpreted one there. The same as I think it was Denmark. No, Poland was muck, which I think is like a dish.
Yeah, I was going to say they were just looking for Polish food recipes.
But yeah, some very interesting there. So check out PokeFacts on Twitter to have a look at that, and definitely let us know which country should be cancelled, especially Cambodia Argentina, and Uruguay,
And Bulgaria.
and Bulgaria.
Indonesia.
Filthy, filthy, filthy countries.
Shout out to Honduras
Oh, no.
for unknown. They've shown unknown F on the graphic. I'm assuming they didn't specify in the Google searches what unknown they were searching for. But shout out to them. That's a cool
Is that
Pokemon.
meta commentary?
Give us a mega unknown Pokemon. Do something with the lore other than they fly around with hidden power. I mean, that's just bullshit.
Yeah.
And they
They're made of
spell out
letters. How
words.
much more lore do you fucking want? They're mysterious.
They are every book ever.
Mysteriously mid. I want good unknowns.
So, just while we're on the subject of things we found on Twitter, Chris, how is the Wolfie Goes Down Under campaign going?
Okay, so
Oh no.
this is quite emotional for me actually. I last week I was continuing my one-man campaign, and I went to check out his Twitter page to see what had been, because his tweets used to come up on my news feed. Is it called a news feed on Twitter? Twitter feed? I don't know.
I think
And
Twitter feed, yeah. Or X feed now, I don't know.
I don't know exactly when this happened, but sometime in the last few weeks, I have been blocked by Wolf Glick. And I don't know why.
Could it have something to do with tagging him every single day in your
It's not
post?
every
single
day.
post.
At Wolf Glick, come to Perth.
Well, I mean, first of all, it's a valid request. And second of all, it wasn't creepy. They were tasteful and quite humorous memes.
He was photoshopped into every picture you posted.
He was a
into-
piece of broccoli in a bathtub.
I'll tell you what,
Photoshopped,
that's probably the one that got him blocked.
photoshopped into famous places in Perth to say like, oh, this is what it'd be like, if he to show what he could do in Perth when he comes here for regionals next year. And I just think this is an overreaction. I'm not some like creepy pervert that's like trying to get in his pants. Would I go there? Probably not. I don't know. That's not the point. The point is.
I don't think you're getting unblocked now.
No, Wolfie, if you hear this, well, I thought you were a friend of the show. Clearly not. I think we need to start a new campaign, actually.
There's still a chance. Come to Perth.
Yeah, Wolf, if you hear this...
No, fuck him. No, fuck Wolf Glick.
No, Wolf, if you hear this, tell James Beck to go fuck himself and then unblock Chris, please.
Okay, I am a fan of Wolfie's career. I watch all his YouTube videos. I did follow him on Twitter.
You're really selling yourself as not a stalker.
No, but like and as he said so himself, he puts a lot of effort into his videos and he works really hard on them. And his Pokemon's his full-time job now. So he literally just does poker tubing and competing and like casting now, I guess, as well. And like that's his whole job. He hasn't got anything else going. And to him, I would say like your entire life and career like it depends on people like me supporting you and subscribing and liking your videos and commenting and engaging. Like you want people like me. Don't go ahead and block your fans
I don't have a cope.
Remember, we
soundbite.
pay your wages.
only trying to get you to come to Australia for the good of the local metagame, for the to bring more like coverage and attention to the Australian VGC metagame. It would have been good for Perth. It would have been good for you. You would have had a great time. I wasn't trying to be creepy, and I think you've overreacted, and I'm very heartbroken by this. So hashtag unblock the Mazda. I need you to at WolfGlick him.
No.
Hashtag unblock THEMARRSTER unblock the Mazda, please.
Stop atting Wolf Glick. Have we learned nothing?
At him, you piece of shit.
Every time Wolfie sees a Perth person like atting him now, he's just going to be like,
No, absolutely not.
You lost a fan, Wolfie. I hope you're happy with yourself. Get a real job.
in other news, the O2 drops
your
reaction to Chris being blocked by Wolfie.
I still blame Alfie.
Everyone else here found it very funny.
Yeah.
I had so much more memes to go. You know whose fault this really is? Fucking
James
Dan
Beck?
Baguli. Well, James Beck can fucking too, but like Dan Baguli made that broccoli meme.
Do you reckon that was the one?
Go follow Chris on Twitter. What's your handle?
Also, Dan Baguli's like, I don't know how I kept finding all these shirtless photos of Wolfie because he was photoshopping him at Cottesloe Beach. So fuck Dan Baguli.
I was going to say go follow Chris on Twitter to see all of the memes to which we are referring.
Hashtag Wolfie goes down under.
No, stop doing that one.
You can search that hashtag and they'll all come up.
Okay, fine.
Or they could just see you because it's all. Oh no, you comment.
I have
on
other
all
amazing
the
content. You should
TCG.
go follow me immediately on Twitter. I have great content. Like me
What is
posting
your
with,
handle so that they can follow you?
I've already said at the Mazda like
The
a million
Master,
times.
The master.
with double R.
my surname is Mar,
Well, moving on.
Scottish.
Shall we pop open the jar, gentlemen?
What the fuck is that noise?
It's time for
You're
the
loving
jar.
this new
I
soundboard.
don't like. No, this it's just tacky.
For a bit of Chris is sad because we used an air horn to indicate him getting blocked by Wolfie. But for a bit of context for listeners, we've finally moved on to a home setup. We touched on it at the start, but Joel has used his tax return money.
No.
No,
I made really responsible financial decisions and sold shares to purchase our mobile setup. So this is the most expensive episode of the O2 drop, and no other episode will be as expensive as this one.
He is rich, actually.
you sold some of your portfolio for podcast recording material.
Yes.
That makes no
That's
money.
it's a good investment decision. We are going to make bank off this podcast. We're going to go huge. The Wolf scandal is going to go viral. We're going to get massively
fuck,
popular.
Wolfie, if you're listening,
Sponsors.
mate, you should
Chris, let it
smarten
go.
up. No,
Let it
We
go.
pay your wages. We pay our taxes.
exactly. I was harmless and innocent, and I want to be unblocked, please.
But yes, we have a new setup. We've purchased all of our own equipment. So this is the first episode we are recording where we're not renting out a podcast studio in the warehouse district.
Joel, I got to ask, what were the shares in?
Oh, yeah, good question.
So I used my micro investing app, which I've been putting $25 a fortnight in for 3 years.
Okay.
So if you guys have ever heard of Raise, and shout out to all
are we
our-
getting sponsored?
No, but all the
He sold his shares.
So all the young listeners listening, it is a super easy way to get into the stock market. I think I started just after COVID, and so I withdrew more than I put in. I was at like over 30% up on like 2K invested. So
Wow.
I'm just glad that you said you sold shares and not something like soiled underwear or feet pics or something like that.
No, we're working on feet pics to fund the child's education.
Nice. Fair enough.
So gentlemen, enough of me. Shall we move on to...
What's in the jar?
Please tell me it's not a Vaporeon plushie.
There's a label on the top that says current pool with a picture of
we
a
are
Pokeball.
going back to our Pokemon competition. We're going to eliminate some more duos.
So what's in the current pool?
We owe an apology to Mark Murray because we accused him of not shuffling them properly because two Pokemon starting with B came up last
P.
episode.
It was P.
P.
It was
Piloswine and
Piloswine and
Palkia.
Palkia next to each other. And I was sitting there at work listening to the podcast because I'm a good worker. And I just hear people saying, oh, Palkia and Piloswine came out together. He must not have shuffled them properly. I separated the legendaries and the non-legendaries. So without the shuffling, those two P Pokemon would have been nowhere near each other. It shuffled very well. Dan Baguli, dishonorable mention, go fuck yourself.
Well, you know what? On that note, the first two both start with S. So you've been caught again. We have trans icon Sylveon
Nice.
versus the menace Smeargle.
Sylveon.
Sylveon.
Oh, it's Sylveon every day.
You know what? I
No, that's 3-1.
can I just say because we get our friends being like, why did no one vote for that one? I vote Smeargle because Sylveon is overrated. Its design is just a bit over the top for me. Smeargle, it is just always
Chris
it's epic
hates
menace.
trans people, confirmed.
That is not what I'm saying. Don't Neil Patel me. Smeargle has a great shiny and it's got so many different options. It needs a bit of a stat boost. I'm sorry, but
No, it really
Like
doesn't.
it does.
It really does.
Also, give it revival blessing, you cowards.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Give us
Revival.
Mega
And
Smeargle.
this noise is a shout out to Jared Clapton.
Wait,
again.
hold on. Surely Ethan gets to rip it up.
What, Ethan, you want to rip Smeargle up?
Ethan,
Yes.
you took Sylveon
Yes,
to
I
Melbourne.
do. I did. I am the Sylveon rep. I am Sylveon's third strongest soldier, lest we forget. And I also think that Smeargle has ruined any goodwill that it may have had out of its unique gimmick just by being shit. So, yes, destroyed with great prejudice.
And again.
And again.
Another one.
That's really satisfying.
It really is. I'll do it a third time.
Let's celebrate the fact that Smeagol is eliminated in round one.
I'm so happy with that.
Chris is devastated.
I'm not no, I'm saving my devastation for when you guys vote Umbreon out.
I have to say, because it's on a lot of the Japanese teams, it's the first time I'm using Smeagol, and I am actually really enjoying
Yeah,
using
see?
it. I don't think it needs to be boosted, though. Like,
No, it does not.
It can survive surging strikes.
Wow.
Like,
Does it
when
have
it...
Terra?
No. Max HP, max defense, it survives, yeah.
All right, hit us, Mark.
This is an interesting one. It's very topical. It's basically the US election. It's Kamala versus Dusk Noir.
Oh, no.
Biden's Dusk Noir because he's almost dead. Shout outs to whoever photoshopped Kamala Harris's hair on Komala the Pokemon and made those election memes with Kamala. That was hilarious.
In the shiny version as well with the pink log.
Love it.
Okay, here's the thing. Election memes aside, I'm actually going to put my name down on Dusk Noir because I have some very, very core childhood memories of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky, Time and Darkness. And Dusk Noir being the character that he was in that, especially in the Sky games, was just very, very special. And I always thought it was a very, very cool mon that was tragically sort of underloved by a Game Freak in the competitive scene. And the design is just very, very cool.
I like them both. I don't love either of them enough to really care which gets eliminated, but I think
Come on, be brave, cast a vote.
I have to agree with Dusk Noir. Kamala, I always thought had a bit of an underwhelming design, and Dusk Noir has a sick design. I think it looks really cool. I think in terms of competitive play, I've never been jazzed to use either of them. I agree. I'd like to see Dusk Noir get a bit more love from Game Freak to see some competitive play just because I'm sick of fucking Dusclops.
Yeah. I will say that Choice Band Sleep Talk Last Resort is extremely funny.
They've apparently taken away Last Resort this gen. It doesn't get Last Resort anymore.
Dusk Noir.
I would really love to say Kamala for the US presidential election memes, but it's just very uninteresting compared to Dusk Noir.
Well, my vote, I don't like Kamala's face. Its nose is higher than its eyes, and that bothers me. And Dusk Noir, I just like to say noir because I like to be French.
Noir.
Dusk Noir.
Dusk Noir.
Which is black in French for those uncultured swine out there, like Wolf Glick. So, yeah, Dusk Noir, he wins.
Okay, someone rip up Kamala for us. Oh,
Fuck, I just
another one.
Okay. What are we looking at?
Beautifully done. 2 Pokemon from Ethan. He's pulled out 1.
Is he going to pull out 2?
You should definitely pull out twice.
That's a good idea.
God.
No one's laughing there, Joel.
I am, because I'm mature.
You only need to pull out once.
I'm just really upset that no one laughed at my Alec Baldwin joke.
We're all too young.
Laughed.
Thank you, babe.
Okay,
In
here's
time,
an
boo.
interesting matchup. Both 2 pretty obscure mons. We've got Electrode, Cantonian Electrode, and Houndoom.
Houndoom.
Houndoom is not even worth discussing.
No notes.
The first, Gen 2, dark Pokemon that was hard to find, and it was a bloody demon dog. It's amazing.
It's cool as hell.
Cool mega.
It's part of the dog meta.
Yeah, really cool mega. Competitively decently viable. Not currently, but it's
Chi-Yu
seen
at home.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chi-Yu at home, exactly. When we get a ban format after Worlds, as some people are predicting, I reckon Houndoom will see play.
Dog versus ball, dog wins.
Yeah, of course. Do we have anything to say about Electrode?
No, it is
No.
canonically accurate.
It's fast,
Oh.
but,
You want to tap?
I'll give it a whirl.
Joel is tearing.
Houndoom goes into the box.
Do you want me to hold the mic for you? Oh, he made it last. He made it last,
Edged
ladies and
us.
gents.
Edging
Judging
one.
us. Oh, yeah.
you're right,
Oh, yeah.
you're right if I skip you and I can pull 2 out.
Yeah, sure.
So again,
Whoa.
thank you, Mark Murray's shuffling. We've got 2 R Pokemon.
This is amazing.
We have. Okay, now he's aggressively
shaking it up with none of them moving around each other.
We have
It's hard to shuffle little square pieces of paper in a jar, okay?
we have apparently meta-relevant Regigigas that was in the 1800s on ladder yesterday. Regigigas versus Sebi's favorite Trick Room Mon, Rhyperior.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting.
I just want to say straight away,
Country ready rock with a handbag.
But
if
it's not
any of
Reggie
us
Rock.
could have understood that, I'm sure that would have been
He
very
said
funny.
cunty Reggie Rock with a handbag and the nails and the little purse with the dog in it.
Yeah.
The little what's the baby herdia?
Oh,
Lilliput.
Lilliput. It's a Lilliput and
Lilliput.
handbag. Yeah, that one. And the pearl necklace and stuff. Yeah.
yeah. Reggie Gigas, sorry.
Reggie Gigas because of the law.
Yeah.
Rhyperia, I just have nothing.
No, Rhyperia. I don't like
Ugly.
Regigigas.
It's an ugly design, like
You're
Colossal
wrong.
and everything those other ugly mons.
I want to
It's
say
a rock type. What else do you expect of a rock type as opposed to
It's just this weird like arms that look like he's wearing like broken arm casts. Like he can't bend his arms. I don't know. It's weird. I don't
And he's
like
got a flashlight in each hand.
He's got his weird shoulder spikes.
That's so he can blast people with rocks.
He did get the Rock Wrecker attack before anyone else
Rock
did.
Wrecker is really cool.
I don't know.
Is it though?
I really
Yes.
want to like Rhyperia. Like he's got the whole arms and he shoots Geodudes, and that's very fun. But like even in Gen 4, like Kaijus were extremely done. You know, we already had Tyranitar, we had
Nidoking,
even things like
Nidoqueen,
Blastoise, and like just we had too many bipedal lizard fucking dudes. And at that point, yeah, he was just a little bit derivative of everything that came before. And Regigigas, like, while also being bipedal and golem-like and all of that, all of the lore around it being sort of so overgrown with stuff that it's just, like, completely torn down. And even if Game Freak kind of completely overstepped on the ability, it kind of adds to the mythos of Regigigas a little bit because...
Do you remember it couldn't even learn Protect back in the day? They have
No.
fixed that. But
They have, but...
still, make Slow Start like 2 turns, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. So is that 3 votes for Regigigas?
Regigigas.
Oh, unanimous.
It's not unanimous.
Oh,
I'm voting
sorry.
for Hyperia, but I'm willing to
sorry.
be outvoted.
It's
You're
unanimous.
wrong, but okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's okay to be wrong
I
here.
haven't ripped one yet. Okay, here you go.
There's a few Pokemon in here that I will get violent about if they get eliminated.
Don't
first
talk over
round.
the tearing.
Oh.
You were saying?
I'll say that there's a few Pokemon in here I will get very violent about if they get eliminated early.
Uh-huh.
Rhyperia is not one of them.
No.
I've picked 3.
Oh, maybe we should do a 3-way battle just to make it interesting.
I think I might try and vote Hydreigon now just to piss you off later.
I've gotten a very...
You couldn't. You love it too much. I know you.
They don't know that.
Okay, so if we get a tie, both Pokemon get eliminated.
What?
Oh,
It's like,
interesting.
can we not dial somebody on a phone and be like, hey,
Nah.
We'll ask my cat.
Ask your cat. Cosmo M, Mudsdale.
can they just both be eliminated?
Yeah. I'm totally fine with both those being eliminated.
We do have to make decisions.
I will vote
Yeah.
Cosmo.
Why is Cosmoem in this list?
It's competitively viable.
Struggle sweep.
Struggle sweet.
I was playing around with the team concept the other day where I was running Assault Vest Cosmoem with Splash so that it would like be forced into struggle. And I was trying to like baton pass, chain minimize and coaching onto it and like heal pulse it to keep it up from the struggle recall. Did not work. Even at like rock bottom 1000 elo, people were just clicking attacks. How fucking dare they?
If I have to vote, I guess the idea of the Mudsdale, like, it's got all this, like, he's got this wet clay and like caked on his legs and it turns into like this hard earth that he can like stomp you with. I think that's kind of cool as a concept.
Whoa.
He's got hard mud on his legs and it's like his little like clumping legs. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't mind Mudsdale. I want to go Cosmoem because I really like the aesthetic of
Fuck's sake.
creatures that have like a kind of like a stellar, like a star, nebula space kind of like.
The fact that it
Aesthetic
is
design.
basically infinite weight.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Like,
love that.
It is a black hole.
I think
of
it's
a
Just
Pokemon.
a neutrino.
I don't expect it to make it past round 2, but I'm also going Cosmoem.
Amazing. Cosmo M survives.
Give us the rip.
All right. I put the mic down so that I can do this justice.
Perfect.
I'll fucking do it again. I get too much joy.
Okay, Mark. You got another pair for us, or has Chris got a pair waiting in the women's?
No, I was relying. I never should rely on you two, you three. I should say, but I was relying on you two.
Sorry, I'm reaching into different parts of the jar so it actually shuffles. Okay, we have Masquerain versus Charizard.
Masquerain, fuck Charizard.
Yeah, I like Masquerain.
Charizard.
Great design, and it's like
Oh, fuck.
It's got Intimidate. It's got
Intimidate,
Water
it's
Moves.
got
It's got
Quiver-
Ice
Quiver
Moves.
Dance.
Sticky Web. Sticky Web.
I never liked Masquerain.
Dirty to me.
I also never liked Masquerain.
And Charizard's a cool, like it's not actually a dragon, but it's a cool dragon, big fire lizard. It's cool. There's a reason Game Freak gave it like 20 different gimmicks. It's because it's cool and people like it.
I will give you guys an opportunity to persuade me to go Masquerain so that you can let it live.
Well, Surskit was the first ever bug water Pokemon.
This is true.
And I reckon Masquerain should have stayed bug water. It would have been cool.
It's a very pretty design. I really like the wings with like the big scary eyes on it lore-wise.
I do think it's cool, yeah, that the butterfly with the scary face on it has Intimidate, kind of copying in nature those butterflies that have designs to make them look like big scary faces to get predators away.
Look, Charizard already has 13 Mega Evolutions, 26 Gigantamax forms. Like, does it 27 Z moves? Does it need to win this as well?
I mean,
No.
with
Masquerain.
yes,
Deepest apologies to the Charizard fans who are listening.
AKA every
them.
12-year-old boy.
Please send
Wait,
your
sorry, Junichi Masuda.
please send your hate mail to @themazda on Twitter.
Look, it's got a cool shiny. I will give it that.
It does have a very cool shiny.
I
Speaking
will
of,
give it that.
I wasn't here last time. Did you really seriously vote out Haxorus?
Yes.
What the fuck is wrong
Yes.
with you all?
I also said they had a cool shiny in my defense.
Haxorus has a very cool shiny. It's also way cool. What was it even up against? I can't remember, but whatever it wasn't good enough.
Okay, well, you weren't here.
It definitely was because it lost.
Rip it.
All right, I'm ripping the fucking paper.
Another one. Ooh, another one. Good, Mark. Good. Good rips.
That was the sound of Charizard being ripped up.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, this one is good.
Spicy.
We've got Pachirisu
Ooh.
versus Kieran Black.
Oh, shit.
Well, only one's won a world, so
That's
This is true,
That is
Pachirisu.
Kieran Black.
Yeah. Only one of them can take a Draco Meteor from Salamence.
Oh, you've almost swayed me there.
I mean, Kieran Black with its Thunder Punch. Wasn't that its like best?
no, it gets
physical-
what? No, it gets Fusion Bolt.
Oh, okay. I thought it had like a lack of spread moves.
Does Pachirisu wall it?
Kinda.
Is Pachirisu a fairy type?
It can be.
Hang on, is Pachirisu like Miraidon hate in the current gen?
It might be.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
cooking.
Do you know who would run that shit? Ben O'Neill.
Shut up, man.
I thought you were about to say.
Might have to try this.
I'm blanking. Who played Pachirisu? I'm blanking on his name. Sejin Park.
Sage Park.
Park,
Yeah, I thought that's who you were going to say.
Well, my vote goes to Pachirisu every day.
I
Love it.
also am going Pachirisu. Pachirisu is also very relevant in early Pokemon Go Great League.
Oh, fuck off. Now I'm doubling down on Kieran Black.
Oh, come on.
To be honest, look, I was going to just go with the majority, but seeing as there isn't a majority, like technically yet, I don't like picker clones. I think they're lazy and uninspired, and I wish Game Freak would stop doing it. I also don't like Kyurem because Kyurem White. How are we going to debate the tiebreaker? You said they both go through.
No.
They both get eliminated.
If we can't
in a
decide here, it
tiebreaker.
goes to showdown. We have to debate it out until someone changes their mind.
No, well, look, I think Kyurem itself was an underloved Pokemon of its gen. Glaciate was woefully underpowered as a signature attack.
I agree.
Well,
I would love to give it some love. I'm voting Kyurem because I think Picturus is just a lazy picker clone.
There we go.
They both go.
Absolutely not.
Nobody wins.
No.
I'm happy. Well, I'm happy for them both to go because none of them are going to win the tournament.
That's true.
This is true.
I mean, it depends on the pathway, right?
I'm willing to flip to Pachirisu. I think it would be.
What?
I think.
You were doubling down a second ago.
No. But here's my thing. Despite what Joel said about Pokemon Go, my thinking is it would be a travesty if Pachirisu gets eliminated. I know we were just talking about Charizard being the fan favorite, but Pachirisu is a real fan favorite. Everyone loves the fact that it
The
won.
people's favorite.
The people's champion. So for that reason, as much as it hurts me, because I really like Kieran Black, I like both the Black and White 2 legendaries. I think they're really cool. Joel is literally right now reaching over a plushie
Just
of
ripped
Kieran
it.
White.
Yeah.
To destroy Kieran Black. Are you going to tear it?
Destroy Kyurem streams.
He is
I'll
the
rip it up,
turncoat.
yeah. Also, I played Black 2, which I believe gives you
Kyurem.
Kieran Black.
I'm
No,
currently
it was-
playing through Black too.
Yeah.
Doesn't Black give you
Black
Reshiram?
gives you Reshiram, but Black 2 gives you Kieran Black with a Zekrom. I believe. I'll need to double check that, but I'm 99% sure.
Okay.
Anyway, this is the sound of Huron Black being ripped up.
Perfection.
I always get the really, really boring ones. Like last one,
Are we going to finish off on a boring
No, we're
pairing
not
again?
finished. No, I don't want to finish. This is really boring. It's cryogonal or cryogonal or how you that, the big snowflake ugly piece of shit versus Nine Tails of Alolan.
Cryogonal.
Nine Tails of Lola.
Nine Tails of Alola.
Cryogonal.
Wow.
Nine Tails of Lola.
Nine Tails of Lola, what are you
It's
doing?
beautiful. And
Cryogonal.
it's the best snow setter. It enables Articuno, the best legendary bird.
Okay, shout out to Lionel Price. Back in the day of TCG, there was a pre-release where the optimal strategy was 1 Cryogonal and 39 water energy. Right? Because for 1 water, it did 10 damage and prevented your opponent from playing items, which is all you have in a pre-release. And it just accumulates damage. And Lionel went like 3-1 at that pre-release.
Yeah, well, that's not persuading me. Is it persuading you, Mark?
I couldn't give a shit about TCG.
Okay,
But,
so
like,
Ethan?
I like geometrical designs a lot. I have a fond memory of using Cryogonal in Battle Spot singles in Pokemon X and Y because it had Levitate and 105 speed, which meant that you could use it to counter Garchomp.
That's very cool. However, Nine Tails of Lola is very cool and it's very pretty. And
Hypnosis.
yeah, I don't give a shit about that. But like, it's,
Veil.
Ice Fairy, I think, is a very cool type pairing. I really like the Big Moon Blast.
Literally.
I think it's just a really pretty design. I am enamored by it.
I will be a turncoat for a reason, just to piss Mark off. And that is that Ninetales Alola is extremely relevant in Pokemon Go Great League.
I'm fine with this.
Okay, so can I rip up the snowflake thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Fine.
I like Cryogonal, but yeah, rip it up.
Okay, let's finish.
No, one more. We can't finish on the shit one all the time.
I was going to say, finish on a good pairing.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how long it takes us.
Better
to
make
get
it good, Mark.
All right, if this is boring, I'm putting it back in the jungle and re-rolling.
there. No rerolls.
I just realized, I'm really worried that you're going to do my favorite when I'm not here. So I really want my favorite to come out now.
This is interesting.
Okay.
I don't know which way we're going to go on this. I haven't decided which way I'm going to go on this.
That means it's good.
It's not shuffled well.
Okay.
It's 2 restricted Pokemon.
Let's
It's
go.
Calyrex Ice.
and Giratina.
Amazing time.
Good work on the soundboard, Joel. Thank
you.
Your
My new toy.
This
your
summer.
your shares money really paying off.
It's your weekly reminder that the podcast is not scripted.
I also should point out I didn't separate them by forms for some reason, so I guess we can
Both.
just assume both. Yes.
Both.
I have no loyalties to either. However, Distortion World was cool.
Yes.
So Giratina gets my vote.
Yeah. Pokemon Platinum Distortion World, also fuck horses.
I'm kind of sick of Calyrex. I was sick of Calyrex Ice back in Gen 8, and I'm sick of it now.
Yeah.
Giratina, I think if it was prevalent in VGC, I'd probably vote against it because it seems like it would be a very annoying Pokemon to be prevalent. The bulky stall, pressure, all that bullshit. Absolutely, I'd have none of it.
It doesn't have any recovery though. Oh, is it Comfy or something?
Yeah.
Polypod.
Leftovers. But I think because I don't have to deal with it on a competitive scene, I love the design. And Calyrex Ice, like, I don't think it's a bad design. I like the idea of a king mounted on his steed. But I have eaten one too many Glacial Lances to want it to continue in this, so I'm voting Giratina.
I'm just going to second all of those thoughts.
Nice.
I'm completely opposite, but it doesn't matter. And I'm okay with Calyrex being eliminated because I don't want it to win. But it is what gets my vote.
It won't.
Is there a reason it gets your vote over Giratina?
So like Gen 4 is probably, it's my like first generation of games, so there's lots of nostalgia factor there. But Calyrex Ice is just fun for me. I think the story of the Frozen Tundra was quite interesting.
That's fair. I enjoyed it as a DLC. I will say that.
It was the first like generation that I came back to playing properly after like a 2-generation break. So I found it like quite refreshing from where I left off. It's fun to play. It's terrible to play against, but you know, it is what it is. And I think, yeah, Giratina is just it's cool. Don't get me wrong, but I think the modern Pokemon is a little bit more interesting for me.
Okay, that's fair enough. That being said, here is the sound of Calyrex ice being ripped up.
Did we hear Chris's opinion?
I said Giratina.
He said Giratina. He's currently sitting back in my luxurious IKEA couch, so he's a bit far away from the microphone.
My
But-
couch is better.
Probably. This one cost me like $200.
A bargain.
Exactly.
Hit us with those rips. And on the bombshell of those incredible rips, that wraps up this episode of the O2 Drop. Thank you, gentlemen, for spending your evening with me.
Thank you, Joel.
And
Thank you, Joel.
Thank you to everyone listening at home to taking time out of your day to listen to us. We definitely appreciate that and would love for you to listen to us again. Please follow us on Twitter /X at the O2Drop_VGC. We're also on YouTube now at the O2 Drop. You can listen to us on your favorite listening app. Definitely follow the podcast. Give us comments, give us likes. Vote in our polls, which we have on every episode on Spotify. And if you're in Perth, give us a shout out in person.
And also, Wolf Glick, I will be I will be watching the world streams, and God knows you'll be on the stream a million times because they love you on stream. I'll be rooting for all of your opponents and watching them beat you on stream and cheering loudly and drunkenly. I hope you know that. You have made a mortal enemy and you will regret this.
Man, I'm really sure he's going to unblock you after this.
Yeah. Until next time.
It's good chocolate.